Hi, welcome to Spec Hunter. I've been using the M1 Max MacBook Pro for the past 3 years. It has been great. I never felt the need to upgrade. Most of my work is light, like browsing or writing. But sometimes, I have to edit videos while I travel. That's when the power of this laptop really helps. The performance, the display, and the battery have been solid. If I never had to edit videos, I might have just gone with something lighter like a MacBook Air or a Surface laptop. But for me, the M1 Max has been the perfect balance. It's handled everything I needed, and it still performs well. Now comes the new generation, the M4 MacBook Pro. For the first time in years, I'm thinking about upgrading. Apple has made changes that are not just small updates. These are real improvements in areas that matter to me. So let's dive into it. The most important thing is performance. The biggest reason this laptop even matters is the new M4 chip. When Apple moved from Intel to M1, that was a huge leap. Since then, M2 and M3 were solid but more gradual upgrades. Now, with M4, the jump from M1 is finally big enough to notice again. If you already have an M2 or M3, you probably don't need to upgrade. But if you're coming from M1, things just got interesting. For context, my old laptop is the M1 Max, fully maxed out, with 64 GB of unified memory. The M4 Max that I've been testing is also the top version. The specs are better all around. The chip uses a 3nm process compared to 5 in M1. The memory bandwidth is up from 400 to 546 GB per second. The numbers speak for themselves. Apple says the M4 Max has up to 2.2 times faster CPU performance than the M1 Max. GPU is also up, with 1.9 times better performance. In short, almost twice as fast. And my own tests confirmed this. I ran Geek 6. And the M4 Max gave me the highest single-core score I've ever seen on a Mac. Multi-core results were also at the top. The GPU even matched the M2 Ultra in some tests. That's the chip used in the Mac Pro, so yes, on paper, the M4 Max is blazing fast, but we don't use laptops just for numbers. Real-world performance matters more. I looked at my own workflow to see if it actually helps. As you might guess, most of what I do that's demanding is video editing. So I opened up Final Cut Pro and loaded one of my regular projects. This project had everything: 8K red raw footage, action camera clips, some graphics, and even files from Snapchat glasses. The M4 Max opened it quickly. Everything was smooth. Export time was also amazing, about twice as fast as my old M1 Max. That's a big deal for someone like me. Faster exports mean more time saved. It's not just about speed. It changes how quickly I can finish a project and move on. Then there's Final Cut Pro 11. It has a new feature called Magnetic Mask. It uses AI to cut subjects out of the background. This used to be a slow, manual task. You had to draw frame by frame, which took forever. Now, it's automatic. You click the subject, make a few tweaks, and the software does the rest. It's fast and accurate. I tested Magnetic Mask on the M4 Max and compared it with other machines. The M1 Max took almost 3 minutes to process a short clip. The M4 Max did it in just over 2 minutes. The M2 Ultra did it even faster, around a minute and a half. And the old Intel Mac Pro, that took 6 full minutes. So yeah, the improvement is real. It's not just numbers. It's actual time saved. For a video editor, this kind of leap is huge. You might not be editing videos though. Maybe you're a photographer. I saw a great video from Tyler Stallman where he tested Lightroom and Resolve on the M4 Max. His results showed the same trend. The M4 Max didn't just beat the M1 Max, it sometimes outperformed the M2 Ultra Max Studio. That's impressive. A laptop beating a recent desktop is rare, and more improvements are coming. Apple hasn't released the M4 Ultra yet, but when they do, it will probably take things even further. Still, it's amazing to see how much this chip has improved over the last few years. Apple Silicon keeps getting better. And now, the M4 Max isn't just powerful, it's ahead of some desktops. Take external drives, for example. One of my favorites used to be the Samsung X5. It was fast, compact, and reliable. It used Thunderbolt 3 and could hit read speeds up to 2,800 megabytes per second. Sadly, Samsung stopped making it. Now, if you want something similar, you can get a SanDisk drive that offers close speeds for around $275. It's still a good option, but if you want to take full advantage of Thunderbolt 5, you'll need something faster. That's where the OWC Thunderbolt 5 drive comes in. It can hit read and write speeds of up to 6,000 megabytes per second. That's more than double what the older drives could do. But it comes at a cost. The 2TB model is priced at about $400. That's not cheap. And for most people, it's not necessary yet. These drives are perfect for professionals working with large media files every day. But if your work is more casual, the older drives still work just fine. The real value of Thunderbolt 5 today is in future-proofing. Over the next few years, we'll see more accessories that use it. More drives, docks, displays, and expansion hubs. When that happens, having Thunderbolt 5 built-in will be very useful. You won't need to buy a new laptop just to use the latest gear. So even if you don't use it now, it's a smart feature to have. Another update that I noticed is the improved webcam. It now supports Center Stage, which is Apple's auto-framing feature. It keeps you in the center of the frame, even if you move around. It's especially useful during video calls, when you're talking to people, or giving presentations. The camera quality is also slightly better than before. It's still a 108p webcam, but with improved processing, the image looks cleaner and more natural. It's not a huge leap, but it's a nice touch. Battery life has also improved. The physical battery is the same size, but the M4 chip is more efficient. It uses less power when doing light tasks, like browsing or writing. That means you can get a bit more screen time before needing to plug in. If you use your laptop mostly for basic work, you'll notice the difference. But if you're editing videos or working with heavy apps, the battery will still drain faster, as expected. The display has also been upgraded in another way. It now supports 1000 nits of brightness in SDR mode. Previously, the SDR brightness was around 500 to 600 nits. That extra brightness makes the screen much easier to see in bright environments. If you work outdoors, near windows, or in strong lighting, this makes a real difference. You won't have to squint or adjust your position just to see your screen. Clearly, there's something else interesting. Apple didn't talk about it much, but they quietly added quantum dot technology to these new displays. That helps with color accuracy and brightness. It also improves the screen's response time. Everything feels more fluid and crisp. Even though it's not old, the image quality is better than ever. You can really tell when watching videos, editing photos, or just browsing the web. Colors pop, blacks are deeper, and motion looks smoother. All these small changes might not seem like a big deal on their own, but together, they create a better experience. A faster laptop, better display, more ports, improved battery, and a sharper webcam. It feels like a complete upgrade, not just a speed bump. That's what makes the M4 Max MacBook Pro so compelling. It's not just one thing. It's the combination of everything working together. Now, let's talk about storage and memory. The base models now start with 16 gigabytes of unified memory. That's a big deal. Before, you had to pay extra just to get that much. Now, it's standard. It makes the entry-level models much more capable. You can open more apps, work on larger files, and do more multitasking without any lag. Apple Intelligence is part of the reason for this change. Their new AI features need more memory to work well. So now, even the base Macs are ready for the future. Storage options are also generous. You can go from 512 gigabytes all the way up to 8 terabytes if you want. Most people will be fine with 1 TB or 2 terabytes, but it's nice to have the option. If you work with 4K or 8K video, or if you use large media libraries, that extra space comes in handy. Everything loads fast thanks to the SSD, and file transfers are quick, especially with Thunderbolt 5 drives. Another nice thing is the build quality. Apple continues to lead in this area. The MacBook Pro feels solid. The chassis is sturdy. The hinge is smooth. The keyboard is responsive. The trackpad is huge and precise. It just feels good to use. You can tell they spent time refining every detail. Even after years of use, these machines hold up well. That's something not every brand can say. The speakers are still among the best in any laptop. They're loud, clear, and rich. Whether you're listening to music, watching movies, or taking video calls, the sound quality is impressive. The spatial audio also adds a layer of depth. If you wear AirPods, you'll notice even more immersion. It's a small thing, but it adds to the premium feel of the machine. Thermals have improved too. The new M4 chips are powerful, but they also run cooler. The fans don't kick in as often, and when they do, they're quieter. During everyday tasks, the laptop stays silent. Even during editing or exporting, it doesn't get too loud. That's thanks to the chip's efficiency and Apple's cooling system. It helps the laptop stay fast without getting hot. Thanks for sticking with me through this deep dive. I hope it helped you understand what's new and why it matters. If you found this video useful, please like and subscribe to Spec Hunter. Don't forget to hit the bell icon so you never miss an update.